Welcome to the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show. My name is Agnes van Rhijn, and I'm a holistic business mentor to professional women who want to reach their full potential in life and in business, but without giving up who they are and what is important to them. I'm also the founder and the host of the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show, and today it's my privilege to be interviewing Chantell Vermaak-Johnson. Chantell is a certified pro coach with new insights. She has more than 20 years experience in the HR field and has looked after the HR needs of organizations with up to 500 employees. Today, her passion is to empower women to be their true selves. So we definitely have a lot in common, Chantell. Welcome to the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show. How are you?
Yes, very well. Thank you. Thank you for that warm welcome.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. And we have more than only helping women reach their full potential in common. We've had some similar story, although I think yours has lasted far longer than mine. So tell us more about you.
Okay, I'm calling myself a hell on earth relationship recovery coach because that's what I'm helping women to do. I help them to recover from their hell on earth relationships. I was in one myself. It lasted for slightly more than 10 years, and it took me as long to recover. And so that's what I do now. I help women recover faster.
It is definitely needed. I hear a lot about women experiencing toxic relationships. I've been in one myself, although I got myself out of it pretty quickly 1 year later because I recognized the signs very quickly. So thanks to my personal development journey. But tell us more about how you managed to step out of it.
Well, you know, Agnes, it's not something that is easy. I was in my toxic relationship, my hell on earth relationship, as I said, for just over 10 years. And in that time, I left him 6 times before I was finally left. So, it's not something that's easy. And I think that helps me understand the woman that I'm working with. Because when they say to me that they're battling, they're thinking of going back, I know exactly where they're coming from.
Yeah, and I remember that in previous conversations that you and I had, you were also talking about this factor of shame. Tell us more about that.
Oh. Yes, look, shame is a huge component. It's taken me, I mentioned to you that I was retrenched and I was laid off in September 2016 and used that as an opportunity to take my coaching practice full time and really, really struggled to decide which area I was actually going to work in, totally ignoring this calling that I had to work with women, just flat out ignored it. And when I realized, when I was literally now between a rock and a hard place, and I realized I have to stop ignoring this, I can no longer ignore it. I realized that it was the shame of having been a victim, the shame of having actually been the victim in an abusive relationship that was keeping me back from stepping up into what I should have been doing. Yeah, the shame.
Yeah, it really is an important, very, very important factor. And I always call it the road blocker. I just would like to bounce back on something else you said that's unrelated to the relationship as such, is the fact that you've been ignoring your calling for such a long time. So funny enough, it took me only 1 year to step out of the relationship, but it took me 8 years to finally stop ignoring my call. Because I was an executive coach. I've been an executive coach for 8 years. I didn't enjoy working with the corporate world at all. However, for the wrong reasons, and I later discovered that was my fear of financial insecurity, I kept doing that and ignoring my call that I wanted to work with women entrepreneurs, and I finally did. So the reason why I'm mentioning this is that I would like the viewers, the listeners, understand that it is okay, that can happen. It doesn't have to be 8 years like me, but you you can absolutely ignore your calling. That can happen. Just get started. That's the principle, because then as you move, you can then finally start acknowledging what it is that you really want to be doing. So parenthesis is close, because I think it's a very important factor. So how did you go from having this part-time activity where you were already coaching women to then actually be in a process where you were facing all these challenges personally while building a business professionally?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to ask you to repeat that question. You were breaking up a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I noticed that we have a few challenges with the bandwidth today. Apparently, I was asking, how did you combine the fact that you were personally challenged, facing those challenges, recovering from them, with setting up or full-time setting up your own business?
Okay, as women, I think that we have so many demands on our time, so that if we are in a place where we are ignoring our calling, as it were, we have so many excuses to justify our ignoring, the ignoring of that calling. And for me, what happened was that when I was laid off, it was like there my excuses were gone. I could no longer say, I don't have enough time to pay attention to this, and I don't have enough time to. The universe literally took my excuse and just ripped it out from underneath me. So there I was. And as women, and as we are wont to do, we start swimming before we start sinking. And so I just started swimming.
Oh, I love that expression. Yeah. I'm always talking about the flying the plane while you're building it, but you are swimming before you're sinking. I love that. So what were the biggest challenges that you've been facing, Chantell?
The biggest challenges in my business?
Yes.
One of the biggest challenges I'm finding is actually to connect with my clients. And the shame is playing a large part in that, because women who are in an abusive relationship are ashamed. So they don't easily ask for help. They don't easily step up and say, look, I need help here. And that's part of the reason why they're still stuck in that scenario. So one of my biggest challenges has been to frame, as it were, my marketing to target women who are actually ready to take action.
Yeah, so it's always, I have the same, it's always a topic of being ready to actually do something about it. Because let's face it, people only buy what they think they need. So
Absolutely.
If they're not ready, you may know, I may know what my clients need, what your clients need, but if they don't know it, they won't buy it. So that's another challenge that we can be facing when we start putting our business together. Anything else that you would want to talk about with our viewers about the challenges that you face or faced?
Well, okay. What I would also add is that part of dealing with the challenges is just to take action. Okay. Again, as women, we're so inclined to wait until it's perfect, to wait until we've mastered this. Yes, to wait until everything is neat and life is not like that. And that waiting for perfection is going to keep you stuck. It's going to keep you stuck and it's going to keep you trapped. So yes, my message would be to act on faith and take that first step. Don't wait for perfection. There's an Irish blessing, may the wind be at your back and may the road rise up to meet you. And when you take action, the road does rise up to meet you.
Yeah, I love that. Taking action. Just get started. That's really important. The other thing that I always say also, it's like when you are driving in a car at night, you only see as far as your lights can bring you, illuminate, I don't know how you say that, what they show on the road, but still, if you know where you're going, you are moving forward as you go, and the
Yes, that's
road is
quite right.
and the road is unfolding as you go. So get started. Yes, absolutely.
Yes, that's a brilliant analogy. That's a brilliant analogy.
Yeah. It's really an analogy that I love. So if you look back at that journey, so how long has that been? When did you start your business full time?
September last year, so it's just a few months.
Okay, so once you decided to do that, have you been holding some form of a vision about what it is that you wanted to be doing? What is it that you were holding on to?
What I'm holding on to, and what I'm still holding on to, is the vision of being able to help women recover faster, so that they are able to step up into their new lives and start living the lives they're meant to be. And yes, it's something that I find incredibly frustrating. And I think from being in that situation, you can chat to a woman, and that she doesn't have to say anything, but that these are the challenges that she's facing. And sometimes I have to control myself and not take them and shake them and say, you can do it. You absolutely can do it. Just, this is what you need to do. Get that vision in your mind. Get that vision of your new future, unshackled, no longer in a cage. You can do it. Just take that first step. So that's the vision that I'm holding onto, is I'm seeing all of these women stepping forward, and as they're stepping forward, the chains that binding them are, breaking, and they step forward into their own freedom and into their own power.
Yeah, I'm completely with you. For me, that is vital. And if we come back to the analogy of the car and the lights, you can follow that road that is unfolding because you know where you're going. So that's that vision. That is that vision. So having a vision, taking action. What else would you say, if there is anything else that you would want to add, that you would recommend to women to take charge of their life?
Who are wanting to achieve their dreams and their goals.
Yeah.
Okay. To understand your why. I know that is cliched, and we hear about it all the time in coaching circles. Understand your why. But it is incredibly important. And understand your why beyond the first layer. I mean, if somebody says to me, what is your why? The first thing that comes to me is, I do it for my children, because I'm setting the example for my children. I want my children to see what it looks like when a woman steps up into her own power and lives the life that she's meant to be. But the layers underneath that, if you start having a look at the fact that you're going to have an impact on your community, that you're going to impact your community's children and the next generation, and that is where it becomes really important.
I'm completely with you. That's what I call my personal why and the bigger why. You have something that you want to achieve for yourself. So for me, it's about my kids being proud of who I am and what I bring to them, and the role model that I'm for them. But then there is indeed the bigger why, and that is about women being role models for each other, so that together we can shape a better world. So no, I'm completely with you. Yeah. So Chantell, where can people find you?
Okay, my website is ownyourpowercoaching.co.za. I have a Facebook group, which is ownyourpowergroup.co.za, and then also on Facebook.
Excellent. And so do you have any next step for you? Is there anything else that you are now wanting to achieve?
Is there anything else that I'm wanting to achieve?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yes. Look, yes. I live in South Africa, and in South Africa, domestic abuse is an incredible problem. And it starts with, as far as I'm concerned, it starts with bullying at schools.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes. So in the next few months, I'm going to be introducing a program that is going to be able to help children resist bullying. First of all, to be able to identify it and then to be able to resist it. And I think that there's a lot of women get caught in an abusive relationship because they're not aware of what's actually happening. You know, we're not raised to understand this is what abuse looks like.
Yeah.
And I know that is what it was like for me. So yes, so I've put together a document, the early warning signs of abuse, and as I say, that program at that school level, which I'm very excited about.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. That's really needed as well. Yes, absolutely. So Chantell, I'm getting conscious of time. These are the type of conversations that could last for hours. But yeah, it's not easy to grab and keep the attention in this fast-pacing world of our viewers and listeners for so long. So we have to bring this to an end. It really was a delight to have you, and we will pursue our conversation after the recording as such. And so for you ladies who really want to reach your full potential in life and in business, you can book yourself a discovery consultation with me to find out how I can help you do that, because my business is called Success on Your Own Terms. So it says what it does on the tin: success, whatever it means to you, but not at any cost. You want a lifestyle business. So book yourself a discovery consultation on agnesvanrhijn.com, and that is ANYESVANRHIJN.com. Thank you so much, and see you in the next interview. Bye.